Okay guys, so we are now inside of the driver's seat of the new Audi A3. It's a really lovely interior. It looks and feels like a premium interior. Nice, you know, haven't got anything that you don't need button wise, although it is still nice to have physical buttons rather than everything being on the screen. I know on sort of Audi A6s and above, you also get a second screen down here which does do all these sort of buttons here, all your temperature controls, drive selects and all that sort of thing there, which sort of fits in there. But Audi A3, none of that. You still get all your buttons and what you need on the center screen there. I apologize, it's smudgy because I've been playing with it to know what to talk about today in this video. So let's start what you see when you first get in the car in terms of screens. So when you get into the car, I might just have to open the door again to get the screen on. There we go. So in there you have your, I think it's a 12 point something display on here. This is the Edition 1, so you do get the Virtual Cockpit Plus, which means you do get the edge-to-edge screen on here. On lower models, the screen's slightly smaller. It sort of cuts off pretty much where it starts to bend there, and then on your left you've got like an analog display of your temperature, and on the other side you've got an analog display of your fuel. Screen's gone off again, so that central screen that was on a second ago, that's what greets you when you're inside the car. If I turn the ignition on first, it beeps at you. It says I need to check my oil level. I mean, this is a 2023 car, so I hope it doesn't need any more oil. Fantastic. So when you turn the ignition on, this is what you get on your virtual cockpit. On the left is your revs as standard. This is the diesel model, so it revs up to 6,000. I believe on the petrol and the S and RS models it goes up to 8,000. On the right you've got your speedometer, and if I can move this a little bit closer forward, you get various options to scroll between. So your default, you're on the screen where it tells you the date and the time. On there, at the bottom there, you can see how many miles the vehicle's done in total, your trip computer, and the temperature right down there. At the top, you may have said this up here, it says auto, so that's to do with the automatic headlights on there. At the moment the headlights are in automatic mode. You can see that it's in green on auto down there. Auto, as I said, that all will also link to your matrix lights, so that tells headlights, do what you want, you know, sort me out, pretty much. So when it's in auto at the top, you don't really need to worry about your high beams and low beams. The car will sort that out for you. Obviously the P, that's your electronic parking brake, and then you've got a, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing having those little warnings up there, but we'll see how we go. To navigate this screen here, you can do so via these buttons and this half of the steering wheel. As I said, when you first get in, your center, you get your date, your time on there. If I use this little scrolly wheel on here, I can scroll down this first menu, so you can tell your fuel level, and it says I got pretty much a quarter of a tank there, which with my driving at the moment is 125 miles of fuel range. Scroll down again, this is your AdBlue. Obviously, if people that do not know, on modern diesel engines, AdBlue is something that you have to add. It's just a chemical which helps to, it mixes with the diesel and helps to further lower the emissions, making them more compliant, especially with the ultra low emission zone in London. So that's that. So it says I've got about 3,000 miles of AdBlue range left, which is a fair bit. I don't know what the max AdBlue range is, but And yeah, this is a 2023 car, only came out. this particular one came off the production line a few weeks ago, so I like to think that's a pretty good figure. We scroll down again, so your short-term memory. So this is you know, your sort of snap instant fuel consumption, your average mile an hour, for example here. You know, I'm quite impressed with it's been very inconsistent driving today with various different speeds, and I've still managed to do 54.1 miles per gallon, which is very good. I've been in the car for about 3 hours now. It says on your right there, 3 hours on there. Average speed 70 miles an hour. I mean, and I've done 50.2 miles on this trip, so very good. We scroll down again. Long-term memory. This takes into account a number of days, so you know, if you want to know, I mean, since new, this car's done 106.5 hours, and in that time it's averaged about 44.4 miles per gallon. Obviously this is the diesel, so you will see better fuel economy compared to the petrol. Energy consumers. So this gauge here is actually pretty cool. So when you have the air conditioning on, for example, it will tell you on here how damaging to your fuel economy having the aircon on is. In fact, I might be able to demonstrate that. I'm going to turn the engine on, so foot on the brake, push start on there. I'm going to turn the aircon on. Let's have it just on sync, which syncs the two sides of the car together. Let's have that at 19 degrees. Increase the fan speed slightly. So you can see now on there you've got a little bit of green which turns up on that meter. Again, that's showing you how damaging the aircon is. If I add the heated seats, you can see that that goes up even more, that consumer of energy. Obviously having your heated seats on, having your air conditioning on does use fuel. Normally you wouldn't know exactly how much that does, so this, I'm going to turn that down because I think the fan speed's quite, and I'm getting quite a warm rear end with those seats on. There we go. There we go. You can see the little green bit's gone down again now. So that's quite a handy thing to, you know, if you're on an economy run, you can monitor what's using most of your fuel. Scrolling down again, you've got your driver assist. Now, all vehicles in the range have this. It's an automatic process. So when you are driving, for example, on a motorway or a road where the road markings are quite clear, the car sensors will pick up, and the little camera will pick up on those road markings, and when it does, these two lines here turn green, and then that means that your assistance is activated. Again, it's an automatic process. When it does, it will pretty much just keep you in lane by offering you gentle steering inputs if you're swerving towards the boundaries of those lanes. It doesn't stop you completely changing lane, but it gives you enough feedback, you know, just to knock your hand back to the left or knock your hand back to the right, just to put it back in the center of the lane. If you get too close to the car in front, it will tell you that you're less than 2 seconds, the recommended gap, 2 seconds to the vehicle in front. It's quite cool. It maps the vehicle. When you're in range, it will map the vehicle in front of you in sort of this area here, and it will give you a little gauge as to how many seconds behind to a vehicle you are, which, especially if it's wet as well, is quite handy. Just help you with your braking distances and things like that, which I find quite cool. This car has the ability to have adaptive cruise control, which links to all what's on there, and you can do that. I don't really like the stalk, your distance control here. However, this is a bit of a tease, so If you don't choose adaptive cruise control from the actual list, you still get the little button to do it, but if you see, when I do, it says adaptive cruise assist function requiring license, not purchased, or it's expired. Again, this is a little tease that Audi do. It gives you the option by obviously still having the little thing you need to change your distance on there, but it doesn't give it to you. So to do that, you can, for example, let's go on here, you can buy it as an optional extra even after you've purchased the car. So on your center screen here, which I'll go a little bit more in a second, you move to purchases, and you can see here it recently expired licenses. So I could activate the adaptive cruise assist, but I'd have to pay a subscription fee for that, either for a week, a year, or a lifetime. Same with the camera-based traffic sign recognition. So as I said, the camera that we looked at earlier, which is up in that bit there, reads the road signs, and then the miles an hour will come up in a little circle there, so you know what the speed limit is in that section, which I think is pretty cool. But it's, again, it's I suppose that's where we're going now. I mean, cars, to save money, will have all the options put on them, but you have to pay to choose what ones you actually want to activate when you have the car. So I mean, there's going to be buttons on cars that are there but only serve a purpose when you activate that function in a supporting app. So that is that. That's all your views on your driver information. If we go a click to the right, you get any warning messages. I'm a bit concerned that it says please check oil level, because this is a brand new car. I might have to phone Audi, for which, by the way, again, I just need to say thank you for Audi for the loan of this vehicle today. Let's have a look. Not connected, so I've turned my Bluetooth off for the moment just to not to interfere with the video. But your phone audio can play through this. When I have my phone playing music earlier on, your music list appears in this bit here, and you can use the scroller here to scroll through your music. And then on the right side of the steering wheel here, you can control the volume and fast forward, skip, go back on there. So all your music information appears on there. So does your some of your Android Auto information. Next one is actually your phone, as in the phone function of the phone, which appears in there. So all your contacts and recent calls and numbers will be in there. And then the last one is your navigation, which you can either have on your center screen there, or you can have right in front of you here. I like the fact you can have it right in front of you, because it's where your eyes are. You can just quickly skim like that, so know where you're going, rather than having to keep looking down there, taking your eyes off the road, cowing the road, bang. You know, it's quite nice having it here. You can expand the view in here by pressing the view button. When I press the view button, your little dials go down and your system expands, and that's the same for all the functions on there. For example, if I press view, you just get an expanded view of you get a nice little picture of the car there as well, which is quite nice. There is an edition one in there as well, which is quite cool. There we go, and you just get an expanded view by pressing that button on there. That is everything at the moment to do with that. You can, in the main menu of the car here, you can sort of change how you configure these dials, which is quite cool, and we're going to go through that right now.